Hello everyone and welcome back to episode, what are we on? Episode 18, is it, of Hands Across the Water? I can't remember. Close enough for this podcast, that's for sure. And with us today, we've got Kyla. You may know Kyla. She did appear on my channel a few weeks ago. And in today's episode, she has been to see Paul McCartney on the Got Back tour. She saw him in her hometown of Denver, or home city of Denver in Colorado. And not only is it the first time she's ever seen Paul McCartney, but it's the first time she's ever been to a gig. Kyla is 23 and not too far away from my co-host, Kyle. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm good. I'm living the E in my name stronger than ever.
Yeah.
Kyle, yes.
Yeah, it's hanging. It's living on a prayer right now.
Yep,
Yeah,
barely hanging on. But no, it's great to have somebody that's not only a name neighbor, but also a fellow Paul and Beatles lover. And this, again, is just the whole premise of our show, this intergenerational, everlasting love for the Beatles from year to year to year. And the fact that somebody got to see Paul for the first time. It's so cool. I'm so excited to hear all about it.
You know what they say, everyone remembers their first time. And it's great that we can get this perspective of a young fan seeing Paul for the first time. So that's what Kyla's going to bring to this show. I'm going to try my very hardest not to call Kyla and Kyla Kyle. That's my main job of the day. But that's what we're going to do. So Kyla, tell us about the getting the tickets. How was the process of getting the tickets for you?
Oh Lord. Well, unfortunately, the only way we could get those tickets was through Ticketmaster, which I have my gripes about that I could go on for hours, but I'm not going to do that.
We've all got the same.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see the concert with my dad because he was the one that really got me into the Beatles. And I was like, I didn't want to go to a concert by myself. So I was like, hey, Dad, why don't we go see Paul McCartney, And yeah, as you do. But the thing is about my dad is he hasn't been to a concert since 1986. Yeah. So, and I was like, well, which one was the last concert you saw? He's like, I don't remember. Because last time he went to a concert, he had ringing in his ears. He was like, well, I'm not doing that again. Because he went without earplugs.
Yeah.
And so the tickets, we obviously didn't get the $1,000 VIP tickets. Of course, those prices are more out of control because of service fees from vendor fees from Ticketmaster. But anyway,
dynamic pricing. Yeah, that's.
But compared to most other artists, I would say Paul is definitely on the cheaper end. Because I know, because I've seen tickets can go up to tens of thousands of dollars.
Do you mean in comparison to superstars
comparison Taylor Swift? I'm like, oh my goodness, Paul's more on the cheaper end from what I've seen.
A man of the people.
Yeah, I mean, ain't he a billionaire? He don't need all that money anyway.
Well, none of them do. None of them do.
That's not really, but
Yeah.
And so we got the way that the stadium functions, because it was at Coors Field, which is. If you're a baseball fan, you would know that is the Rocky Stadium. And so it's there's the middle field, there's the field, and then there's the seats that surround it. So we got the middle seats towards the back because it's a good seat option, but it's still a little pricey. It was $250 per person. So it was
that could be worse.
It was $500 for both me and my dad. So, and we sat on the edge, which was a good thing. So we didn't have to shuffle through people. if we needed to like get out. And plus, like, since we were in the middle, the concessions were behind us. So if we wanted to get like a drink, which we did, we could just easily go and do that.
So you're very strategic about your seating.
Yeah, I mean, it's my first concert I've ever been to, so I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know what if a fight breaks out in a Paul McCartney concert or something weird happens.
Well,
I don't know.
Apparently, one did in Vegas. I saw footage on YouTube, and there was some people having a right old Barney on. They seem to be, quite up in the gods. I think it was Vegas.
Sounds like Vegas.
Yeah,
that fits.
It might have been Palm Springs, but I think it was Vegas. They were arguing about. I think people were standing up. Heaven forbid that someone should stand up at a gig, but I think they were blocking someone's view or something like that. But I'm quite surprised that you consider that the tickets were, quite cheap, because I'm coming over for the Montreal gigs now. Admittedly, the Montreal venue seems to be the most expensive on the tour, but just generally, the tickets for this tour are I've never seen prices like it before. I mean, I've never been to a gig in America or in North America.
You have to deal with Ticketmaster, my friend.
No, well, we have Ticketmaster here.
You do? Yeah. Okay.
We have Ticketmaster here as well. And I saw Paul back in December here in London, and the prices for those tickets, and I did have the hot sound ticket for that, where you go to the sound check, and we're in the first 6 rows, and they were about a third of the price of what the equivalent ticket was in Montreal. So
wow. Well, so another thing you have to consider, though, I think that this continental difference is important, but also the fact that this was Kyla's first concert ever, to just kind of like zoom in on our intergenerational theme here. This is all we know.
Yeah.
Like we did a great show about your 1979, show. And how much was that ticket again?
About £4.50.
I mean, I have a poster in the back as well of them like in their at the Washington Sports Arena, and it lists the price tickets of like $5.
So this is again just life right now, and it doesn't make it right, but it's kind of like, and I feel that tinge too, because I feel like everything changed a little bit after COVID. So it's kind of like a ticket that I saw in 2015. I still remember that, and 2025, I still wince a little bit, and I'm like, but it's the way it is.
I mean, I'm also like comparing it to what I've seen like online from other venues like Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and I've seen like those tickets can go up to $7,000, $10,000. I'm like, either that's from the scalpers or that's actually what the venue lists them as, and I'm just like, holy crap.
That I mean, how do people afford that? Because Taylor Swift has got a younger audience, lots of kids that probably have to go to concerts with their parents because they're too young to go on their own. So you're talking about buying
partially, not entirely.
No, but some will be, and they get for those people, they're going to have to go with their parents or a parent, and you're talking about a family day out, several $1,000s a ticket.
Well, let me raise another point that I think might kind of bring us back to Kyle's experience. The reason I think that these tickets are so expensive right now is because in this like isolated world with AI and all of this bull crap around us, the live experience is like the single thing that's sacred.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately, these companies realize that and put a big price tag on it, but it's still, I feel like, thinking about me, I mean, my first time seeing Paul wasn't long ago. It was technically the exact same tour. It was Get Back in, I guess that was 22. And again, the tickets were probably just as expensive, and it was a big deal for me to go. And even if I wasn't like right up on the front row, just the being in the same space as Paul was just like, I really would pay a lot of money for that. And it's crazy to consider it, but that's the type of devotion and passion that we have as fans.
Yeah, it's almost like FOMO, fear of missing out, that a lot of people, like, that's what a lot of these companies bake on, is like fear of missing out. So even when I was sitting like in my seats, I'm like, dang, is it really worth the $1,000 for me to sit up closer to him? Because that's what I was thinking, is like, maybe I could have spent $1,000.
Yeah, because when you're looking at the ticket, you're like, I can't spend that. But once you're there, you're like, oh,
yeah,
exactly. That would have been nice. Yeah. So as somebody that's, loved Paul for all these years, and if you want more about the Kyla lore, you can check out Beatley Tone's video with Kyla. But how did it feel like when he walks out on stage and you're like, that's the guy?
I mean, so at first, I didn't really like comprehend that the guy that I have been following his music for, like researching for so many years, and just like being in at a fan convention for him, he was right there. It didn't really like, I couldn't really just like comprehend like, oh wait, that's the guy. He's right there. Because I was like kind of just like, I wanted to like capture the moment of me being in the concert, so I like had my phone like recording almost every single song there. And then I kind of went to my dad and I just went like, I was like, because he was right next to me, I was like, Dad, like, he's right there.
Yeah,
he's right there. That's the Beatle. That's the living legend that we've been all like discussing and just admiring for so many years, and who has helped change the music industry. He's right there, guys.
Yeah, that so resonates with me, because when I saw him for the first time, I was younger than you. I think I was 19. No, I was 18. I was 18 when I saw him for the first time, and it's like, oh my God, I'm in the same room, breathing the same air as that bloke in the Beatles, and it's like really, 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 it's quite, I don't know, overwhelming, I suppose, in a way. Did you get to your seats early enough to watch the pre-show film that they show, where the scrolling thing? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. I mean, getting to my seat, I was like shoulder to shoulder. It was so like crowded in there. Because I mean, again, it's as I said this to Tone like in the beginning, but it's kind of like, if you understand baseball, like American baseball teams, then you get this joke. I was like, this is the most people I have ever seen in this stadium. Not even the Rockies get this much audience. But it was just like, we were like shoulder to shoulder. It was really hard to move, but we did eventually. Like, we had to like get out of the crowd and like go behind concession stands to get to our seats, because it was just we were like packed like sardines. It was so hard to get there, but we did eventually get there, and then we got to our seats, and I did see the scrolling like pre-show film that they had, and I thought it was really interesting and cool how it kind of like goes through their history. And like shows photos of them when they were a band, and then photos of Paul when he was on his own. So I thought that was really cool how they did that.
They honor both.
I think the DJ does a really good job of mixing all the tracks together. It's a really good show.
I have to mention that when you gave that scene so vividly, with just being packed like sardines and all the people, and it just makes me think that I have personally been in the hot take department of saying, Paul, stop touring. Like, go make some albums that we can cherish forever. Like, do you really need to go to San Antonio? And the answer is yes. Is that I'm wrong, because the point that we always come back to, that I hear on various podcasts, is Paul wants to reach that one person that hasn't heard him before, that hasn't seen Blackbird and Hey Jude live, or hasn't seen him live. Yeah. And so just to imagine all these people coming out of the mountains of Denver to go and see this idol, it's why he does it, and it's what charges his battery. So I'll put my hot take off the stove and just be happy.
Yeah, simmer down there for a second there, man. If he stopped touring, then I wouldn't be able to see him, because guess what? He's only been to Colorado 3 times.
I didn't know that.
Ever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. Okay. First time was in 1964 at Red Rocks. Then there was a second time in 2010, and then this is his third time.
Okay.
Wow. So there you have it.
And I think that if you are seeing Paul for the first time, as you did, Kyla, if there's certain songs, people that have seen him a lot of times are saying, the set list is a bit tired. He's been doing the same songs for a long time. But if you are going for the first time, and he doesn't do Let It Be, and he doesn't do Hey Jude, then you're going to come away and think, I feel a little bit shortchanged here. I want to hear him sing those particular songs, because they're classics. So he comes on. He comes on. He opens up with Help. Did you know he was going to open up with Help? Have you already checked the set list? Or
no, I did not check anything at all. I was like, I want to see what he does.
Fantastic.
So that was the one that caught me by surprise. I didn't think he was going to perform this one live. Was Being the Benefit of Mr. Kite. I just remember me and my dad looking at each other, going, "Whoa, he did this one."
Yeah.
Wow. That's funny, because that's another one that he's done for a long time. But if you're just like, hey, Paul's in town, I got to see a Beatle, I can see that. That's surprising anybody.
So was there a real element of surprise that he was doing Help? He was doing a John song to start off, or did you not think of that? Did you just think of it of this is Paul, and this is what he's opening his show with?
I mean, I think it's, because he talked about how, like during the concert, like how much he cared about John, how much he loved him, as a friend. And, so I think it's like, I guess, in character in him to kind of like honor, his late friend, John Lennon, by singing some of his songs. I just didn't know he was going to open with Help. I thought he was going to like start with one of his own that he's written, either from Wings, his solo career, or from the Beatles. But I thought it was nice that he opened up with that song. I was like, oh, okay, so we're just getting right into it.
Good stuff. So he then goes into Coming Up. Coming Up is the second song that he does. How is that?
I forgot how much that song was a banger.
Yeah.
I was like, oh wait, oh yeah, this song is really good, and now I listen to it more often, because he brings in like his like the brass band that plays some of the songs. I was like, oh, he really like amps it up.
Yeah,
with more orchestral.
Hot Sea horns, they're called, aren't they?
Oh, okay.
Sea horns or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, they're good. They're good, and they add something. Were they up in the stands somewhere at some point during the show? Because when we saw them at the O2 in London, I think it was in maybe Letting Go, you suddenly hear the horn section come in, and you're thinking, where's that coming from? Because there's no one, they're not on the stage, and you kind of look up, and they're actually up in the gods on one of the stands.
I don't think so.
Or did they just stayed on the stage?
Yeah, they just stayed on stage for the most part, from what I could see.
Yeah, I suppose the different venues, they've got certain restrictions that they can't, they can't get up there and then get back down for the next song or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Did you think that there was a difference between when Paul was playing solo and Beatles songs? Because when I saw him at MetLife a couple of years ago, I was so excited. I think that he started playing like Letting Go, and I was like, my eyes were melting. I couldn't believe it. Then everybody around me was like, what the hell is this? It's like a famous Wings song. But again, I think it's natural that if 30,000 people are there, like 20,000 are there for his Beatles work.
I mean, I can definitely tell that there was a lot more of a crowd reception towards the Beatles song And I mean, like, I did think that, but I think there was still a good like a lot of good like hype and energy around some of his more solo Wing songs, like Jet. Definitely, I think had a lot of like good crowd reception, because when he was like Jet, I could hear people going Jet. So I mean, I think it was relatively the same, although I still do think like for the Beatles specific songs, there was just a little bit of a more hype to those.
And do you think that's because the Wing songs are not as loved, or do you think it's because less of the a lot of the audience know all the Beatles songs but maybe don't know the solo songs?
100%. I think they just know more about the Beatles songs, because it's kind of like what Kyle said. It's like you could have people going, "What the heck is this? This isn't a Beatles song," but it's because like when you think Paul McCartney, you think Beatles, not Wings. But for the most part, in popular culture and popular media, you think Beatles. So people who are like mostly who are into the Beatles may not have branched off into their solo careers, because they're like, well, I just either A, they didn't know, or B, they just don't care to, because they want to have that, like, there's like a special harmony between all four of them that's like, well, when they break off into solo careers, you're not going to have John Lennon, George Harrison, Ringo Starr playing on the respective instruments, and it doesn't feel the same. So they probably don't check it out.
I think it's just a fact of life that most people, are more familiar with the Beatles. I think that it's a shame because there's so much there to love. But I can't think of a good comparison, if either of you can. But maybe there's some solo acts where the artist truly outgrew the band, and they're like, maybe like Brian Ferry, for example, where like he is just like, people know him as Brian Ferry and people know him as Roxy. But I feel like with the Beatles, you had almost like a closed universe of like, if they only existed for these years and only made these albums, like, that would be enough. Which to us who appreciate everything Paul and the rest of them gave us after, we were like, no, that's not nearly enough. There's so much more better stuff. But I think people are like, I'm content just with this, so they don't bother to investigate deeper.
Guys, there's DLC. You got to get the DLC. Look at it.
Get the DLC.
You got to get the DLC. There's more.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like for Paul McCartney's case specifically, there is one song that does transcend the Beatles catalog of like, oh, this is Paul McCartney, and I think it's "Live or Let Die." Because that was featured in a James Bond movie, and for our generation, that was featured in Shrek 3. So yeah, that was featured in Shrek 3.
I don't remember that,
but people are like, oh wait, that was Paul McCartney. I had no idea. It's like "I'm a Believer," which was also featured in Shrek, but that was a cover from the original Monkeys song. So it's just like, oh, I've heard this song before. I just didn't know it was him.
Someone like that one. Was it Smash Mouth?
Yes.
Oh, also, is it? Yeah. I never thought of how sick the Shrek soundtrack is. It forms an entire generation's musical mind.
It's all been Shrek for us.
Wow. Okay. We'll have to find a clip of "Live and Let Die" featured in Shrek, and we'll link it in the description for those inquiring minds.
I remember I was like, it was a spoiler alert for like, I don't know, a decade-old movie, but it's like the scene when the king passes away, Fiona's father passes away, and then the frog sings, "So live or let die." I was like, this is a funeral song?
Wow. So there are a few.
I don't want you going there just before we record a show, because I don't want you coming on here all red-eyed and everything. So you do that some other time. Kyla, I know you were pretty hardcore, but was there any songs that you did that you didn't know, or did you know them all?
I knew them all. It's just because I have been through Paul's entire catalog before, and it's just like, oh yeah, I remember that song now, because it's been a while since I've heard some of them.
And how was his voice on the night? because obviously, there's always a question. He's 83 years old. There's some notes that he's not going to get. I know he gets most of them, but some of them he doesn't get. So how was it on the night?
Well, here's the thing. I had like earplugs because like I could still hear, but it's like I want to protect my hearing. Like I'm 22. I don't want to lose my hearing yet. But I could still hear him. But it's just I thought, my opinion on Paul McCartney, still performing and doing live and like even making recording albums. I'm like, Paul, you're 83. You've done enough. It's okay. You can hang up the jersey now. You can hang up the guitar. You don't have to sing anymore. But he clearly does because he loves it. And I mean, I've always said this. I think Paul McCartney is one of the only few people that are legally allowed to use auto-tune to help him with his singing. But I mean, was he as good as he was when he was young? No. I mean, he's clearly been doing this for so many decades. It's going to wear on your voice. But I thought, with that in mind, with that expectation in mind, I thought he did pretty good for, considering especially he's in Colorado. It's a lot more dry and you're higher elevation, so less oxygen. I mean, when I saw his face on the Jumbotron, the big screen, like the area around his eyes looked a little bit red. I'm like, are you dehydrated or something? You okay? Drink some water, Grandpa.
Yeah, he doesn't even take a drink of water during the show, I
don't think he did actually, which is like, that's crazy.
I don't know how he does it. But he doesn't take a drink of water during the show. I've never noticed him do it.
Well, I mean, Tony, let me turn the question on you.
His only costume change is about.
That's what I saw was the costume change.
Six songs he takes his jacket off, and that's about it.
Yeah, it's like I was like, me and my dad were joking because in the Red Rocks show in 1964, they had to have oxygen tanks on the side. Which I thought, being a Colorado native, I thought that was kind of amusing because it's like, that's not a problem for us. But I didn't. So me and my dad were like looking in the crowd going, where's the oxygen tanks? Does he need it? But I didn't see any. And so I was like, oh, he must have adapted, I guess, already. So I think he's okay. If he passes out, then we'll know why.
Well, Tone, from your perspective, as somebody that's seen him throughout his career, starting in '79, what do you make of his voice? Because for us, I feel like it's like, hey, this is the Paul we have. This is the Paul we're going to love. But what do you make of it?
Yeah, it's kind of like Kyla said. He can't sing as well as he could in the 70s or the 80s or even the 90s. But he's 83 years old, and when he goes out, it tends to be as the tour progresses, his voice adapts and becomes better. I thought it was really good when we saw him at the O2 last December. I thought his voice was really, really good. Best that I've heard him for quite a while. And it's like anything. I think that sometimes when if he's just standing there with an acoustic guitar. And he's doing Here Today or Blackbird or something like that, his voice sounds a little bit vulnerable. Same when he does the beginning of Maybe I'm Amazed, where it's just him and the piano before it kind of where the song really kicks into gear and he's like really going for it. It sounds a little bit vulnerable. But when he's rocking out, I think he sounds great. I think he still sounds great. And it's like I said when we were talking the other day, Carl. From my point of as a drummer, when I'm rehearsing with a band and I miss a beat or something, and one of the band says, "You missed a beat," I say, "Yeah, but look at all the ones that I got." So, and it's the same for Paul. All right, so maybe you get a few bum notes, but look at all the ones where he's bang on, and look at it from that point of view. He's 83 years old. What to expect? I'm just glad that he's out there, he's doing it, and he's delivering it. People are seeing him for the first time, which is, fantastic experience. And he's having a great time, and the band are having a great time. The band are great. And it's a great show. It's a great show.
It's like every time he shows up to a city, he's just the center of some festival. And it's a chance for new people to see him, but it's also a chance for people that have seen him many, many times to get back together and celebrate something around him. Like even you and the gang going to Quebec. Nobody will have been, seeing him for the first time, but it's just a reason for everybody to come out from every corner of the earth to get together as an event. So I think that's what he really loves about it. And it doesn't, that's my point of saying this, is that the quality of the music is not really, I mean, obviously the quality is very high, as you're saying, but the quality of his voice is not like the central thing. It's not like you're going to the orchestra and saying like, well, that viola was really out of tune, I want my money back. Like, you're there to see Paul as he is, and just playing these songs from decades and decades spanning that we all love.
Yeah. Talking of the gang, I think we should actually say that our other co-host Andy Nichols, who comes from New Jersey, he would have liked to be on this show as well, but he's on got back duty. He's
on the front lines.
He is literally on the front line. He was at Tulsa the gig the other night, and he's now in San Antonio, and the gigs today. So he's going to the sound check, so he couldn't make it. So yeah, absolutely.
That's our strongest soldier.
Salute, Mr. Nichols. He's
in the trenches.
He's gone above and beyond the Call of Duty for this tour. He's seen 7 shows on this tour. So
and he was kind of reluctant, but he said, "You know what? If I have to do it, I'll go." It's my duty.
I'll take one for the team.
I'll take 7 for the team.
Yeah,
sure. I got a couple 100,000 in the hole, but I got you guys.
Yeah.
He's having a good time. So
Now and Then, how was that?
Oh my god, I did not know he was going to do that. I was like, oh
no.
Yay. It's because it's I guess it kind of carries the same air of like, they were like, because like, this is technically the last Beatles song ever. If you want to count, like, even though it's AI enhanced, if you want to count it as the last Beatles song ever, it's like, oh, this is that new Beatles song I finally get to see in concert. Like, it's kind of like, if you were back in the 60s and they released that new single or something and you got to see that live, it's like, oh, I'm seeing the new track they made live. That's pretty cool. And I love Now and Then. I think it's a fantastic song, and I really liked the presentation that happened in the back with the like the footage of like them back in the day, and that being integrated with Paul and Ringo in the modern day. So I thought it was just nice. It's like, yeah, this is the last one, unfortunately.
Yeah.
What did you think like the mood in the arena was like when he played it? Because I feel like people will talk lots and crap about that song until he's playing it live right in front of you.
Wait. They talk crap about the song?
There's debate. I mean, we're
who are these people, and where do they live? And where do they live?
I'm not going to dox anybody, but listen, we're
dox them.
In the Beatles YouTube and podcast sphere, we're the complaint department. So we get to hear people's, honest opinions about these things. And there's lots of, even beyond the internet, I just hear, friends, random moms saying like, oh, well, it's not really a Beatles song and all this stuff. But I think I can assume that if you're there seeing Paul, you're probably supportive of it.
There's only one answer to that. When people say it's not a Beatles song, there is only one answer to it. Is John Lennon on it? Is Paul McCartney on it? Is George Harrison on it? Is Ringo Starr on it? If the answer to all those questions is yes, it's a Beatles song, right? Let's not make too much of the AI aspect of it, because basically all the there's nothing fake about it. All they used was the MAL technology, the machine learning technology, to separate John's voice from the piano and from the buzz that they had on the original tape. There was a terrible buzz going through. That's why they did. That's why they didn't do it when they did Anthology in 1995. They didn't have the technology to get rid of that buzz. Now they have, and they got rid of it. And John's voice on that just sounds better than it did on any of the other, the other songs that they did, because they were able to do that separation. And as far as I know, that's the only, interference apart from what the Beatles actually played and sung on that song.
I mean, I was gonna say, it's like, I believe in free speech. People are allowed to say what they want and be wrong. I mean, I have a lot of strong opinions on AI. I mean, I'm against generative AI, but I'm not against AI being used as the tool to like help enhance like the audio, because like what Tony was saying was like back then they didn't have that technology to like, because there was that buzz that is just like, oh, we can't get rid of it like nicely or else it's going to sound terrible. But now that we have that technology to like enhance, they're not replacing him, they're just enhancing the audio, then I think it's fine.
And you know what I'll add to that, if we're going with hot takes.
Oh yeah.
The technology is one thing. Knowing how to use it is a completely different thing. And I think proof for that is this 2025 remix of Free as a Bird, that you had this same technology to really boost the signal on John's vocal, and it just sounds like a shoestring. So, but I don't know.
Hot take, I like Free as a Bird in the original.
I love the song, but the recording, I mean, this new mix is trash, but we'll get to that.
I don't think it is. I think it's trash. Why do you think it's trash? I think it's improved.
Come to Brooklyn and we'll talk about it. No,
okay, we're gonna talk about it.
We'll have to do a whole anthology show about that. So I guess
you crazy kids.
I think I was mainly trying to get a temperature check of what the stadium was like. Like, were people tearful?
We can argue about this some other time. But so now and then, I mean, like, how people like use their cell phones or have their like little lights that they can buy, like they can turn on the flashlight on their cell phones and they just kind of like wave it around for those type of songs. We kind of like had that a bit for Now and Then. I mean, it wasn't as much as for Let It Be and Hey Jude, but people had that on, and it was just like, it's a nice.
Did they have the heart this time? Did they give you a heart on a piece of cardboard? It had a heart on one side and Na 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 on the other. So you were supposed to hold up the heart during Now and Then, and the Na Na Na's during Hey Jude. That's what they did in London. They're not.
I don't think I saw that. It was pretty dark. So, but it was just kind of, because like for those songs like Let It Be, Hey Jude, and Now and Then, there wasn't like people like standing up and going, yeah. It was just kind of like, this is a song you kind of like just like wave your body around too. It's just I thought it was a nice, almost sentimental like kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That was definitely the vibe, and he has a lot of songs that match that tone. But as somebody seeing him for the first time, what did you think about his little speeches in between? Like, I'm sure he told the Jimi Hendrix story. Did any of those stand out to you? Was everybody laughing like he's telling them for the first time?
I really liked his little anecdotes that he put in between the sets. Like the one that stood out to me the most was Blackbird. The reason why he created Blackbird was he said like to like sort of like say like comfort the Black community like during the height of the civil rights movement. And it's just like that kind of stuff felt really special, because it's like, I'm sure he's like told these stories like 1,000 times. Like when Let It Be, every time he got on the piano, I would like go to my dad like, is he gonna do Let It Be? Because it's like, we've heard this story so many times, I don't want to hear it again. But I mean, I really liked how it felt like him. it's like, this is the guy who made these songs. This is his experiences. It just felt more personal when he spoke about this stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just, I was like, I really like, and of course he like threw in his like his little quips and jokes here and there. Like, I remember this one specific one where he would ask the crowd, he's like, how many people are actually from Denver? And then you would have the people like be like, yeah, we're from Denver. How many people are not from Denver, outside of Denver? And you had like a lot of people. There was a lot of people outside.
A lot of people have traveled in.
Yeah. And then he said, on behalf of the tourist community, we welcome you. And I thought that was really funny. He would have little tidbits like that. I'm like, yep, that's old Paul right there. He still has his he's still as sharp as ever.
Mm-hmm. Talk us through. The first question was, what would you say? What would you say the sort of the generational split was? Obviously, you only know around the area that you were sitting in. I don't expect you to have counted them, but would you say there was a lot of young people, mostly older people?
I noticed that there was a lot of younger people. It's like in my general vicinity that I could see. I saw that, parents had brought in their kids with them. I mean, there definitely was like a lot of older people. There was older people in front of me. There was like an older couple that we got to talking to that were next to us, because that's the thing that my dad does. He yaps a lot. But I noticed that there was like people that were my age. Like, there was a guy, I don't know if he was from Japan, but Paul pointed him out in the crowd because he's like, let's look around and see people's signs and stuff.
Yeah.
And he was like, this guy was like holding up a phrase in Japanese. I don't remember the name, but it was like, I think, and Paul like pointed that out and like mentioned the meaning of it. And it's like a word that meant fab in Japanese. I don't remember, but he looked pretty young, like almost my age. And there was like in the front seats, there was a lot of people that looked my age, and I was like, wow, I even noted this to my dad. I was like, there's quite a lot of people that are on the younger side here. That's pretty awesome how his reach can just spread across almost every generation, despite his age, and despite how a lot of young people, especially in our generation, that would be like, the Beatles are old school, they're overrated and all that stuff, they're just for old people music. And it's like, well, actually, do you know it's part of me just wants to go, do you know how many of the artists that you like are inspired by the Beatles and all that stuff?
Right.
And just like, there's a Beatles song that everybody likes.
Yeah.
I mean, I always look out for that whenever I go and see him, and it just always astounds me that the young people that are there, they know the words to every song. They know the words to every song, and it's great. And I love that about the reach, and I love that about what it means for the legacy as well.
Of our intergenerational podcasts, no less. But I think that another funny thing of like Paul's doing this so well that it has a negative consequence is that Andy was complaining about when he went to the Bowery show that there was like a mosh pit during like one song. And it's like we want young people, but maybe not violent young people. But really, like when I got to do some live reporting outside the Bowery for Two Legs back in February, I was surrounded by young people. It was people that, not just like, oh, I'm living in the East Village and I just happened to walk past this thing. No, there was some of that, but also there was like, oh, as soon as I heard about this, I got on the bus from New Jersey and came here. So again, like you said, Tony, it's just impressive how many, people not only do it as some sort of like museum piece, but it's something that is they're super passionate about.
Yeah. I love it. Kyla, talk us through the I've Got a Feeling sequence with John.
I mean, the I've Got a Feeling sequence, I mean, it's just like they obviously like showed in the back on the back big screen of like slides of him and John, and it's just, you know, I can tell that even after all these years, after John's unfortunate death, that he still holds his late friend in a very special place in his heart, because they just had such a close, like, not only just like professional like writing relationship, they also had a very personal one. I can tell that they were very close to each other, and Paul still holds him, you know, in a very special place, because, you know, it's, you know, his friend was taken out in a very, so suddenly, with a very what was I going to say, like very tragically, because he was shot, but, and it's just like, you know, I can still tell that even though he's probably done this for years and years and years, there's still a level of vulnerability and like he's very sentimental. There's still some vulnerability in him when he is performing this song, and he's like saying, like talking about John. And, you know, it's just like, you know, being my first not only just my first concert, but my first Paul McCartney concert, it's just like, yeah, I get it, man.
It's almost like he's taking John on the road with him, whether it's through the Beatles songs, I mean, or, you know, and or like this, where he's featured, you know, on the Jumbotron and everything. And yeah, it's totally core to his personality, to his story. And I think it's also kind of a nod to what we were talking about before. Most of these people are here for the Beatles, right? Like, it would be a little bit egotistical to think that it's like, oh yeah, now, you know, remember my band Wings? Let's, you know, I mean, of course, that would be nice too, because a lot of them are past, and that would be an equally nice tribute. But it's like, there's a reason that he has a Jumbotron of John, and not his other collaborators that have sadly passed. So
what do you want to just give us a few of your highlights, favorite songs that he did?
Oh my goodness.
On the spot.
You're
on the spot now.
You're asking me to pick?
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Your three favorites.
I do say that I'm glad that I have, because I've actually seen, I guess, like clips float around on the internet before of like people kind of making like little jokes about his Live and Let Die performance, because it's like, it starts off nice and slow, and then he goes Live and Let Die, and then the pyrotechnics go off, and people are like, oh no, Paul McCartney exploded. So that's what I was like, that's what I kind of did. That was a highlight for me. I'm like, no, Paul McCartney's gonna blow up, and then he goes Live and Let Die, and I'm like, no. But I thought that performance was incredible. Like with all the pyrotechnics and like the brass band going along with it. I thought that one was a highlight. Another highlight for me was Oobla Dee Oobla Da, because I'm gonna snitch on my dad a little bit. He does not like that song. And I can tell like people furiously type on their keyboards as I say that, because I know that's a hot take. And his reason being is just because like he's heard that song so many times growing up that he's just like, I'm tired of it. So when he started playing Oobla Dee Oobla Da, I like turned to my dad and going, he's playing that song. He's playing that one. So that one was another highlight. I'm trying to think. I mean, of course, like Hey Jude. I mean, that's like a very safe answer, because that's the one that everybody participates in. And that's the one that people like held their phone flashlights up to. And then he would go, I want to hear the fellas do the na-na-nas. I want to hear all the ladies do the na-na-na-na. And I want everyone to join in. So that was a highlight for me. And I mean, another highlight for me was Now and Then, because it's like, oh, wait, that's the newer song that he's performing. I didn't know he was going to do that one. I mean, all of the performances were just so clean and so well done that it's just like they kind of like mingle together, and it's like it's really hard to pick it out specifically. But I mean, the one that I think that really stands out is "Live and Let Die" because of all the fireworks and the pyrotechnics.
Yeah. It is a fantastic light show. That, and I've seen him do that in outdoor arenas where the fireworks are even more, because obviously there's no roof, so
well,
they really go for it.
For Colorado specifically, I don't know like how intense they usually are, but I mean there were fireworks. But I mean we're very dry, so it's like you probably obviously can't like put like a nuclear bomb in the sky, but there was definitely still fireworks.
It really just feels like we're in this interesting age where we understand Paul's contributions as a historical figure, as a once in a generation talent, which is kind of hard to say because there's so many once in a generation talent people from the 60s, but still giving him that title. It's like we're seeing like Beethoven, conduct, his Fifth Symphony live. And because there's been enough distance since he made those songs, and yet he's still alive to perform them. So it doesn't really feel like, just rehashing the past or resting on his laurels to hear him play Blackbird or Golden Slumbers. It's or even a song by John, or that he wrote with John, like Help. So those are some great picks of just like, hey, you don't need to you didn't have to choose Coming Up because it was kind of a novelty. Like if your favorite is Let It Be, then so be it, as they say.
If your favorite is Let It Be, let it be.
Let it be. Yeah, I missed that one.
I get it.
That's it. Was you about to say something there, Kyla? Or
I was gonna say, like, I was expecting him to play yesterday. Not gonna lie. I didn't hear him play yesterday. I was like, is he gonna play yesterday? Oh, okay. Not that I want. Like, I was like, ooh, I really hope he plays yesterday. It's like, is he gonna do it? Oh, I guess not. Okay, that's fine.
Should we wrap up? Did you get any merch?
No.
No merch.
I mean, the only merch I got was the water cup that I got from the concession stand. I mean, when we were coming up, get it? Coming
there
up?
You go.
Yeah.
There's one.
So what you did there?
Because we had to go through. We parked at the core stadium field, and then we walked up to the stadium. I mean, like it was like $30 for parking. And then naturally, as you get closer, the prices go up in parking. And then as we were walking up, there was like people like I thought they were like scammers or something at first, but like people like selling Paul McCartney merch, like the shirt. I'm like, is that Paul McCartney? I'm like, oh wait, these guys are. I'm sorry, y'all. That's official. My bad. So no, I didn't.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah. You got anything else, Kyle?
No, I think that. I mean, I don't know if you've more or less already touched on it, but I feel like it's just so special that you got to go with your dad.
I really,
yeah. As he's the guy that introduced you to all this stuff. It's kind of,
Oh yeah, that was his first Paul McCartney concert.
Yeah.
So, for both of you, even better.
For both of us.
Did you at any time take your earplugs out just to see how loud it was, or you didn't risk it?
No, I started without earplugs.
Yeah.
And then I noticed like my dad put his in later on. I was like, you know what, just be on the safer side. I mean, I can still hear perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But I just put them in because like I kind of want my hearing.
It's useful.
Well, if you're a music fan, your ears are quite important. So you need
yeah. Wow, that guy is. I can't hear anything, but he's really going at it. I don't know what he's doing.
Do you want to see him again?
I mean, the reason why my dad got these tickets in the first place, it's like because like he's in his 80s. We're like, we don't know if this is the last time we're gonna see him. because I remember when Brian Wilson came to Red Rocks, he went to Red Rocks. I didn't get the tickets for him. And I was like, well, maybe next time and all that stuff. And then he passed away this year. And I was like, oh, well, crap. So, I mean, Paul at the end of the show was like, I'll see you guys next time or something like that. And it's like, I'm kind of like eyeing him a little bit. I was like, first of all, this is only the third time you've been to Colorado. Who knows? This is probably going to be 50 years in the future if you were to come back again. And then second, I don't know if you're going to live that long if you're going to come back. So, I mean, if he does, then hopefully I can see him again.
You know, even if he lives to 150, going on this past record of three times since 1964, the chances are that he's probably not going to come to Denver again.
I'm not traveling out of state.
Come on. I'm going to Montreal. I'm going to Montreal from London to see him. You can go up a couple of states and go and see him again.
No,
I know.
I
know it's not as easy as that. It's you know, it's so expensive.
You got a couple grand, Tony, that you can lend me?
Maybe
I mean, I will if
maybe
you
not.
Yeah.
I mean, I just want to close by saying this. Like, I am just so happy to eat my words about poo-pooing this whole tour. I mean, when I saw the list of cities, I was like, he's going where? Like, why? But again, it's this hearing from the horse's mouth, like why it matters. It just makes my heart feel so full. And also, I'm even for somebody that's seen Paul many times, like our dear co-host Andy, I'm excited for us to do a show with him when he recaps, you know, all those his adventures on the road, because whether it's your first time or your 100th time, it's just a special thing that to be in his presence, hearing the songs live. We have plenty of records and we know another one's on the way, according to Jenny Sywell. So I'm content. I don't, need to change things other than freeze a bird.
He said it.
Everything's fine except for that.
Behave yourself. Kyla, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show and hear about all your about this experience. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Really appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. Carl, always a pleasure. Listen to me while I'm talking to you.
No, I don't want to.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure to do stuff with you. Do you want to? Do you want to do all the, the young people stuff? Talk about
all the young people stuff,
Instagram and all that sort of stuff.
Follow us. There's this new invention called Instagram. We're featured on it. I suggest you check us out there. But no, if you've made it this far in the video, we super appreciate you watching and checking it out. It means you definitely appreciate our intergenerational chatter about this group that we all are passionate about. So be along for the ride. That if you're not subscribed already, we are knocking on the door of quadruple digits, 1,000 subscribers. We are so proud of all the work that we've done, and we're just eager for 2026 and just all the fun stuff ahead. But first, we got to close out the year and talk about all the amazing Christmas releases. You can expect more content on the anthology, the new anthology release, the Wings compilation. And we still have to talk about Power to the People and also Anthology, the video release. So there's still a lot on our plate for 2025. It's been an awesome year in Beatles world. And like I said, we're just grateful that you're along for the ride.
Okay.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah. Yes, a natural.
Okay, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this show, and we will see you. We'll see you next time.